Hi, Keith here from North 40 Fly Shop. Today we're going to tie up a bug that I call the seminar bugger. How I came about with this fly was a few years ago we had a seminar on stillwater fishing, and I had tied this up, I don't know, a couple months beforehand. Used it on some of the area lakes and did very well. And basically, so I was showing some customers the bug at the seminar, and a lot of them liked it. Which I'm prone to sometimes just throw them the bug and say, there you go, when I have a number of them tied up. And that's how I came up with the name, the seminar bugger. I've used it also on my home water, the Hackle River. I've cast and stripped, and I've also swung it on my 5-weight trout spay rod and done real good with some of the West Slope cutthroats. You can tie this in a number of sizes. Everything from a size 6 all the way down to a size 12, even a 14 if you want. If you need something a little bit smaller, it can imitate a number of things, and it can imitate absolutely nothing. It's the nice thing about this bug. Color-wise, you can do it in olives, burnt orange, blacks, sculpin, olive, browns, yellow. I think that's the colors that I usually tie this up in. And catch an array of different type fish, like I said, trout and everything else that I've used it for, and bass. I've even caught panfish with it when I've been trying to catch some of them. So it's a simple bug. There's only not a whole lot to it, but it's very effective. So, well, let's get tying. Okay, to give you a little more close-up look at what we're looking at here to tie, this is it right here. So let's get started. For the hooks, we're using a Tiemco 2312 in a size 8, just because it will make it a little easier for you to see. And to that we're going to put a 1/8 chartreuse brass bead on it, like such. And we were using 70 denier ultra thread in olive. I should point out that in the past, depending on the body of water that I'm fishing, sometimes I will use flame orange or something like that, a hot thread color for a hot spot up behind the bead. If I'm using a different color, like silver or gold or copper brass bead instead of the painted ones. Okay, so for the tail, we're going to use some of the marabou from the woolly bugger marabou olive. I use a lot of this, especially with leech patterns and even bugger patterns, which is what this was designed for. Except I just strip off a little bit. You don't need to make the tail real long. We want to kind of keep it short. We're only going to do it about a body length, maybe. Yeah. So the other thing, to make this a little bit more bearable, I would suggest kind of moisten the marabou right here, the stem part that you're going to be tying down. It just makes it easier for you to get a hold of and keep it on top for the most part when you're wrapping it on. That way you get a nice even wrap. Keep the body at one size. There you go. The next thing we're going to put in is a little bit of flashabou in the tail, and I like to use the pearl ice. What is this? Yeah, ice blue, or no, the ice blue pearl. I'll get it right. This is almost a UV quality, and we're going to do 2 strands. The other thing I do is when I match these up, before I tie them in, I run them across my tongue just to kind of moisten them up a little bit, and they kind of hold together. Makes it a little bit easier when you're tying them in. Well, it's supposed to. We'll get it tied in there one way or the other. And you can put it in right along the side. If it doesn't want to stay on the side, that's okay, as long as you got it in there. You want to trim those out to about the same length as your marabou. Alrighty, now we're going to move on to the body. So, a little dubbing wax on the thread. For the body, we're going to use some Hare's Ice Dub in olive. And pretty much we're going to run this what I call sparse. And you're going to want to do a pretty tight little, as some people call it, a dubbing noodle. And I heard one gentleman the other day make the comment on another video that to put it on, you want to put it on so hard when you're putting a dubbing on that it hurts your fingers. So I kind of have to concur with that. So the body is going to be not very big as far as thickness. The old adage, less is more, does apply here. And we're just going to keep moving that forward. And if we run out, we just apply a little bit more. And I'm going to carry that all the way up to the front. There we go. Okay, before I go too much further, I like to kind of just rough this up just a little bit. I want some of those fibers to kind of break loose and add a little bit of movement to it. So don't get overzealous with your brushing, but yeah, put a little effort into it. Get them fibers to stick out a little bit. There we go. Alright, so the last thing, we're going to tie in the hackle on the collar area. And for that we're going to use the grizzly marabou in olive. This stuff is more like a chickaboo than actually marabou. So you want to go through and kind of pick out one that's got some good webbing, because you're going to wrap it on there like a hackle almost. And so about that size, you're going to strip off at the stem where you're going to tie in. Get that tied in real good. There we go. There isn't any particular number of wraps. You're just going to wrap it until it's all gone. Might want to hold the fibers back a little bit when you're doing each wrap. The other thing too is we're not going to worry about trimming off the tip. Nice thing about this particular material is you can just keep wrapping it all the way up till you can't get it there anymore. And then we're just going to tie it off and leave that as part of the collar. So a couple behind, a couple in front, unhook your hackle pliers, pull her back a little bit, make a couple of securing more wraps, get that thing to bend back just the way you want it. make it look pretty. There you go. A little super glue up here. Generally when I'm tying something behind a bead or a cone head, this is how I apply my super glue. About 3 to 4 turns of a whip finish. You're all done up there. Come on. Nothing ever goes just the way you want it. There we go. I'm going to double check to see that that Flashaboo is the right length. Alright. As you can see, it's not a real big fly as far as volume, and that's kind of what you want. You want a real sparse fly. So, well, there you go. That is the Seminar Bugger. Simple, effective, tight in different colors, tight in different sizes. Use it in the lakes, use it in the rivers. Let me know how you do with it.